Okay guys, this is Racer X back for the third video. This video is not on the low C14 scale review of the motocross dirt bike. This is the third video I promised you guys, for those of you who've been watching the past couple videos I've had, for the Nova Italian 1/5 scale Nitro Race Bike Pro. As I said in my first video, I raced this bike right here and was US champion for 7 years in a row. And I still have it. Still in perfect race condition, just as it was a few years back, about 10 years ago when I was racing. I just wanted to introduce this bike because I know a lot of you here in the US have not seen a bike like this. And if you have, it's been in real bad condition. Okay, this is the Nova 509 1/5 scale race bike, as I told you. This has the best of everything from Italy on it. Not out of the box. There was a lot of upgrades that I put into it. I have literally, with everything I use to race and the bike itself, plus fairing kits, rims, tires, so forth, about $5,000. I estimated when I went through everything. So yeah, about $5,000. The tires are sponsored European race tires, and the rims are my own design, pretty much now. Back when they were made, somebody else came up with the spiral design, and we worked together on it, and this is what we came up with. So it's pretty much my design now that he's not around anymore. It's got an Pico Evo 4-port race motor from Italy. It is the third best motor for this bike or any nitro bike to race with. The best nitro motor to race with in this class of GP is a Calari. Very expensive motor, and it's super fast. You're probably looking at about 80 miles an hour, maybe faster. The next one down from that would be the Nova motor. That, once again, a very expensive motor, doing probably close to around 80 or a little lower, depending on your setup. And then, of course, you have the Pico Evo, which is third down. I became US champion with the Pico. In the beginning, I was running the Nova, and the Nova that I was running was already 5 years old before I started racing it, and I was winning with that. Once that took a dump, I went ahead and put in the Pico Evo, and still held my title, and the bike still ran great. So you don't need the best motor out there to run this bike or race it professionally. It has full disc brakes. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to try and show you. Okay, as you can see, it spins. This caliper has 5 different settings, and it is a steel rotor with an aluminum caliper and composite, if you can see. Composite brake pads, which are real metallic brake pads, like on a real motorcycle. The tire is what's called an aqua tread, so you can run it in rain or high temperatures. And it does get gooey and sticky like chewing gum in the summertime, where it's real hot, especially California, Arizona, Nevada, stuff like that. It can be ran in the rain, and it sticks like glue in the rain, believe it or not. I have done it. People worldwide have done it, and it's an awesome tire. It is also $25 per tire. So just, match that up to your 1/4 scale dirt bike by Losi, and the price you're paying for your rim and tire, which is, $29, and you get in the rim too. These rims here are $150 just for the 2. So they're pretty expensive. You can't, like I said, you can't get them anymore. It runs on a hump pack, 17 or 18 or 1600. is what I've been running with. My clutch shoes are 1/8 scale clutch shoes. I use MIPs or OFNAs, or Orions or something like that. You know, I got so many to put in there. I got aluminum, and then I have composite. Um, the fuel tank will run 15 minutes on a full tank, and it does run 30% nitro fuel. The brake cables are real stainless steel housing. Once again, the rear brake has 5 different adjustments, just like the front brake does. So there's quite a bit in there to go ahead and set it up. But once it's set up, it locks on like no other. The bike will slide sideways into your turns. It's pretty cool. The carburetor is not a Pico carburetor. I went ahead and put a Novarossi carburetor on the Pico because they all are interchangeable. And now I got bigger porting, so it's smoking fast. It's 65 miles an hour. It was clocked at full throttle probably like 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, something like that. But it's not the speed of the bike, it's the driver. It's 90% driver, and the rest is set up on this bike when you race two-wheel GP. Okay. The other thing is it is running the old Spectrum receiver and controller system. I didn't switch it out because it works amazing with this bike, so I wasn't going to upgrade it. You know, I could still kick butt with it and not have to worry. Up on the top, you have what's called a switch glow, made by my friend Mike in Chatsworth, California. He did it for helicopters and airplanes. I went ahead and put it on the bike because they wanted me to test it for nitro on-road and off-road cars and bikes, and I put it on the bike and been running it ever since. It's an electronic ignition system that works off the battery. I push it once, push it twice, and it just keeps firing up. Fires the motor right up once the rotor start hits the back crank, which is right there. Okay, that is my own design. Like I said in my first video, that is the DMR rotor start that I sold worldwide. That was a humongous hit. Unfortunately, I just felt that I was putting too much time in and not making enough money worldwide with it, so I had to shut down production. And I know everybody cried worldwide because they really wanted the rotor start, along with a lot of the other aluminum parts that I made for this bike in production. What else could I tell you here? The chain is a true DID nickel-plated chain, which comes stock with the bike. There is no aftermarket chain for this bike. Now, as I said, this is the 509. They no longer make the 509. Novafar makes the 511 now in nitro and in electric. Everybody's pretty much went to electric, but they still run nitro in Europe only. Of course, this is the only nitro 1/5 scale race-ready race bike in the U.S. Everybody else has pretty much fallen off, and if you do have one, it's beat to death, and you're still trying to figure out how to get parts or make something work. The only way you're going to end up doing that is, like I said, to get a hold of Novafar in Italy by email and then PayPal them for the parts, if you can still get 509 parts. Okay, so that's the only way you're pretty much going to get it. You can look on eBay. Sometimes there is parts out there for the 509 on eBay, and you can check that out too. Maybe Marketplace on Facebook. So you'll have to look around. Pipe. That is a real titanium race pipe from Novafar. It is $350 just for the pipe. It's beautiful. The tuning on it is so amazing and so accurate. It's not even funny. So that's what type of pipe that is. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a titanium race pipe from Europe. The tip is DMR Racing, which is my company once again. And I got quite a few of them left, actually. And it's just a nipple protector for the pipe so it doesn't get ground down if it flips backwards. What else could I tell you about this? It's exactly 5 pounds wet. That's with fuel. And the suspension on it is heaven. I mean, if you see my fingers right now when I push on it, look how perfect that suspension is. Look at the pressure and rebound on that. Absolutely flawless. That is a real super bike suspension. Now let me show you the front of it when I push on it. Hold on. Got to warm it up a little bit. It's been sitting for a while. There we go. Fully hydraulic. Just the fork tube setup, $300 just for the Pro forks. And that's what these are. They're not the stock forks, they're the Pro forks. The stock forks were black. It being hydraulic, you can put air and with a mixture of 40% or 40 weight, excuse me, shock oil in there. You can run just air, or you can run just shock oil, or you can run neither one, or you can mix the two. That's how cool this setup is on the front. And this is called the T-filler. And this comes stock. I just modified it and came up with my own setup. Normally it's just a loop around, and then you have to put what's called an L filler in there and then do it. I put a T. Much easier and much better to set up on this here. Okay, on this bike also, I mentioned in one of my videos, well, the first one I believe, that it has a grup screw settings in here. Okay, and it has a crash back spring, just like the quarter scale Losi bike. Okay, so that's kind of where they got the design from. When you hit these forks, like you hit a board, it will flex in and flex back. Whoops, sorry. It will flex in and flex back on the front forks, which is the same as the dirt bike. But the other thing is, if I turn this grup screw here, okay, it brings the rake of the tire in for sharper turns, and if I bring it out, it makes wider turns. So you can adjust your steering that way for your rollouts in your turns. And then these are the U-bars made out of a very special black nylon. You can also get it in white. These things last forever, believe it or not. And as you can see there, it's got some runtime on it, and I haven't switched it out yet. For sure, and they're super strong. This is what we slide on when we do GP. Or we put what's called a roller, same as the Losi 1/4 scale. A roller comes out here and is bent up on a bearing with a plastic wheel or a composite wheel. And we can use rollers too. I prefer these because I can go faster, bounce off people, bounce off the pavement a lot faster than using a roller, because this gives me, see that spring back? See how fast that is? If I use a roller, it's going to be a lot slower. It's going to be quite a bit slower. So some guys in Europe, they love the roller because they can roll out faster. I like the U slider because I can roll out faster. So it just depends on the driving skills on that situation. But it's really cool. Let's see what else. Okay, steering dampener. This is a steering dampener. It runs 35 weight for your front end. That's what steers your front end and stabilizes your front end, just like a real super bike. So you don't get the shimmies when you come out of a turn and pull a wheelie, or if you're going real fast. This bike is really fast. Most of them are. So if you don't have one of these on there, you're in big trouble, because that front end's going to just shimmy like crazy and the bike's just going to flip all over the place. So you have to have one of those, and that usually comes stock, but I did the upgrade on that for a better setup for racing pro. So it takes shock if I hit a board or whatever. The other one the aluminum wasn't as thick on that. Servos, I'm using high-tech. They don't even sell these high-techs anymore. I can always upgrade to an aluminum standard servo, digital preferably, on both, but they are over 111 ounces of torque, and the transit time on these servos is 0.9, super fast. So that's what you have to run on a 5-pound aluminum bike. Now, if you take a good look at this bike compared to the Losi dirt bike, this bike has no gyro. None. Zero gyro in this bike. There's no such thing as running a gyro in GP Superbike Nitro, or even electric. Even the electric bikes don't run gyro. Okay, it's all weight distribution from right to left, forward to back, and driving skills. and setup. But once you learn how to run this bike or any on-road GP RC bike that's professionally set up like this, it's going to be 90% driver and the rest will be setup. That also goes with, racing on-road, off-road, buggy, whatever it is, in RC. It is always 90% driver and the rest is all setup for any driver. I don't care what anyone says. I've done it all, and I'll tell you right now, it's 90% driver. Okay, on the tires, I already explained a little bit about the tires, but if you can see here, you see that red stuff? Well, it used to be clear. That's shoe goo. The way I mount these tires on the rim is with shoe goo, because you cannot use CA on these rims and tires to keep reusing the rims once the tires wear out. You will have to use shoe goo. It don't look pretty, but I do the best job I can, and it's not looking pretty scale, but I don't care. I'm out to win. I'm not out to look pretty. This isn't a concourse race. It's blood. It's out for blood when you race these. If I ever want to take the tire off, all I have to do is take an X-Acto, cut the edge, pull the tire and insert off, use the insert on the inside still, and then I just pull all the excess rubber off by hand, like pulling a rubber band off of a piece of metal. Real simple and easy. It's all nice and clean, and now I can go ahead and remount my new tire. You can also get composite rims to make it lighter for this bike, which is highly suggested. I like the aluminum. And you do the same thing using shoe goo to mount your tires on your rims, whether it be composite or aluminum, like I said. You don't want to use CA, because if you do, the tire's on there for good. Once it wears out, you're throwing away a lot of money. Not just $25 a tire, but you're throwing away $150 in aluminum rims. So you need to know how to mount. I believe it was either my first video or my second video, I explained that when you mount tires, or maybe I didn't, when you mount tires on the low-C dirt bike on aluminum wheels, you must use DAP contact cement. Okay, do not use like any kind of CA, like I said, or even shoe goo or any of that stuff, because on a dirt bike, the torque factor on the wheel is a lot harder on a dirt bike than it is on a GP Nitro race bike. So you want to go ahead and mount up your tires on aluminum wheels with DAP contact cement. This way they'll come right off, they clean right off, and you can remount some new tires. You want to mount your rubber tires that you have for your dirt bike on your plastic rims with medium CA. Do not use thin, do not use thick. Use medium CA for your dirt bike. And you're good to go, because once the tires wear out and you've done whatever you could with them, throw them in the garbage. Just take the screws out of them so you can save the screws. All right, getting back to this bike, kind of along with the low-C, I'm just trying to show you the difference. Yeah, no gyro, man. There's no gyro. You know how to run this bike, whether it be electric or nitro. And once you master that, this dirt bike will be nothing but baby stuff for you to ride. For you to run and enjoy and all that stuff. So I'm trying to rush through this as quick as possible. You can see the caliper there, which is really cool, polished out. On this side, you can kind of see all the cool stuff on it. And how shiny the rims are and that stuff. This is an older bike, dude. I just keep it in real good condition. So yeah, even the motor don't leak. It don't do nothing. The rotor start is aerospace engineered. It's not just something thrown on the machine and cut out at a machine shop. It is my design, and it was designed under aerospace technology. So the way the bearings sit and the internals and everything like that, even the hex is not a normal hex. Fairings. Let's just move along to the fairings of this bike. You can also, the other thing is, you don't have to run treaded tires on this. You can run non-treaded, which are slicks, which work just as good. I just wanted to run with the Aqua Treads because it was, wet at some point, and I wanted to run it in the rain a little bit, which worked out really good. I also upgraded the flywheel on this. I didn't use the Nova flywheel. I just felt that the clutch wasn't engaging fast enough, so I came up with my own flywheel setup in there. If you can see it, it's right in here. Okay, moving on to the fairing kit. The fairing kit on this is a Thunder Tiger Ducati 999, which was released many years ago. Before this bike was even released. And this is the rider you got, and then you have your polycarbonate body there. The kit. Oh, there goes his head. The kit for the bike was $32 in the bag, non-painted, and then I went ahead and painted it. This thing's beat to death. This thing's seen a lot of races. I mean, you can see the grinds, man. On one side, you can see I was doing more rights than lefts. Anyway, so that's like $32. But I have a new Nova 511 body kit that's been completely custom painted and set up for this bike. I've only put it on once. The Nova fairing kit and body for this bike is $120 plus shipping. So from Italy. So you're looking quite a bit just for the fairing kit and the rider. I'll probably pull that out. I don't know. We'll see. But it's stupid sweet. I mean, it's really nice the way it all turned out, because I do professional painting too. So yeah, this is some cool stuff. I think this may wrap it up. I'm not going to get into driving skills. I already did that, setups and all that stuff. But yeah, this is my baby. 7 years of nothing but love and trophies galore. I will not get rid of it, and if I do, I want at least $3,500 for it, with everything that it comes with, controller, everything, because you cannot get it in the United States, especially the way it's set up. It's pro. Nobody can touch it with a fifth scale nitro bike in the U.S. even to this day. And there's no way you're going to get a 21 size motor in there, and you couldn't even tame the beast even if it had one. But it does run a 12 size motor. Maybe I didn't mention that. Yeah, I just wanted to make a sweet fast video on it, and my driver's head came off. CA. I thought it was shoe goo. I'll put some shoe goo on there. It'll be on there for good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Once again, this is Racer X, and safety is number one in RC, so always keep it safe. Enjoy yourself. Till the next video, and I haven't decided yet. Hope you enjoyed the review of the 1/5 scale Nova 509 Super Race Bike GP. Go watch yourself some of the GP Nitro videos, the World Championship and so forth on YouTube, and you will get a kick out of it and see what I mean on how fast we run. We run really fast and hard. So and stick with the low C dirt bike. Keep working on it. You'll figure it out. For those of you who may have trouble and haven't been familiar with it, like I said, my other videos, I've been doing this 23 years pro. So yeah, it's like any bike you give me is pretty easy. I can run anything. Like when I got the low C, it was too easy. I had to make it harder. I had to stiffen up the steering and do some things to make it, harder for me to drive, and it still wasn't hard enough. So either way, all right, that's the end, and talk to you guys soon, man. Thanks for watching.